Hello, everyone. So we're talking about evaluations, and performance evaluations is a term, performance appraisals, and a couple of aspects on background that I think are real important here. First is they're not done as often as they should or by as many organizations as they should. It's seen as something that is time-consuming, unproductive, and leads to quite a bit of conflict between employees and management. It certainly leads to conflict. No one likes to be judged or evaluated. As I often say, you can control the way you live your life. You can't control the way others judge your life. So you do have, as an employee, do not have much control in relation to how they evaluate you. But evaluations are important for a number of reasons. And three in particular I'm going to talk about. And hopefully at the end of this discussion, organizations will realize the importance of utilizing their evaluations. First, the evaluation process doesn't start with the employees and it doesn't start with management. It starts with an individual organization creating their goals. So organizations, it usually comes from a strategic plan, but they come up with a plan. And that's the very first part of the evaluation process. It starts at that instance. If you create an organization and you have a mission and vision and values, and then you have some strategic objectives, we often call them, now you're ready to move to the second step, which is to hire employees that can help you achieve those objectives. So the first step is to creating those objectives as an organization. The second one is to go out and find people who can help you achieve those objectives. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to do. I think, though, the first two are the easiest of the difficulties. So knowing where the organization wants to go, finding employees to help them get there is the first two aspects. The third one's the most difficult, and that really comes to the evaluation part, which is at some point in time, you have to evaluate whether the employees that you hired are helping you to achieve your goal, and you're hoping to evaluate whether your organization is in fact achieving its goals. So it's an evaluation process. We call it feedback, whatever you want to call it. From marriages to relationships, we all want this feedback. How am I doing? What can I do differently? I want to make this work. Tell me how I can make it even more productive, successful, profitable. So the third aspect is really to evaluate their performance against these goals to ensure that you're achieving the objectives, that you're achieving the results that you want to achieve. So evaluations, when we look at the actual mechanics of evaluations a little differently from determining the type of tool, and we'll talk more about that in videos later on. But what is important in this discussion is really to understand first that you've got to have organizational goals. Those are really the leaders and the drivers of your evaluation process. You have to know what the organization deems as important for their success. Then you have to hire the right employees to get you to where you want to go. The third step is really going to help you get there, which is to determine if you have hired the right employees and if the performance is what's expected. So those are the three general rules, or strategies, overviews that I would consider when I'm developing an evaluation system. One other point, which we'll talk about later in the week as well, is evaluations are much more time sensitive. It's not an annual evaluation. The best organizations are moving to quicker but quarterly evaluations. We call the QQs. Quicker and quarterly. Everybody enjoy the day, and I certainly look forward to hearing more from you during the week. Take care.